Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Makakodash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who rule well. Peace, love, and salutations to the hopeful elect. This is your brother WW3 from the Men of Valor campaign, Greenville, South Carolina, coming back with another video on sincerity and in truth, the Lord willing to be edifying. And I want to bring out this and then go into this article. All right, we're going to get right into it. This is Revelation chapter 11 and verse 14. The second woe is past, and behold, the third woe cometh quickly. All right, so the Lord prophesied of three major woe, meaning destruction. Slacky. All right, so the Lord said that he prophesied that there would be three major destructions. All right, here it says the second woe is past. And now that we're in 2026, we know what that second woe was. That second woe was the Second World War. All right, the scriptures even speak about the First World War, and the death and destruction that came forth from that. But then it said it would be two wars thereafter. And now that the second woe is past, behold, the third woe cometh quickly. So this conflict that's going on with Iran and Israel and the United States is the catalyst for World War III. Okay, you also have tensions with Russia and Ukraine. All right, but we said through the spirit, that put that old Soviet spirit back on Russia. It woke them up. They've been at war for the last 4 years. All right, you also got China that's preparing to take Taiwan. You also have, this conflict in the Levant region. And that Levant region is where the Lord is going to bring these nations to the valley of Yahweh Shaphat. The valley of the Lord's judgment to plead with the heathen there. And he's gathering them. This is why this is happening. And although they might try to do ceasefires, they might try to go about, mitigating this, the Lord is hardening their hearts. The Lord is putting the spirit on them, on whether it's Iran or whether it's the American administration, to not bring about peace. They can't come to the negotiating table. They can't bring out a peace deal. All right, and it's choking the world economy. This is the will of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, man. The Lord rules in the kingdom of men. He brings up one and sets down another one. And that's what we're seeing. So let's get into this article. Read through some of the key main points. All right. From zerohedge.com, it says ceasefire over? ? Trump downplays mini war after U.S. and Iranians trade shots. Missiles target UAE. All right, because now next is going to be targeting the infrastructure of the oil industry that America has had in a stronghold. And they're all fighting over this Strait of Hormuz, where 30% of the world's oil travels through. And that's where you're seeing the spikes in gas prices. That's why you're seeing, the sticker shock. You're seeing Brent crude oil futures jump up and down. All right, you got billions upon billions of dollars of people invested into these companies, into these ETFs, into just into the system. And it's all leading back to this conflict. All right. Summary. Trump employs interesting new term. We're in I call it a mini war. Nah, war is hey, at first he said it wasn't a war. He said he wasn't going to, he said he was going to end the war in Ukraine in 24 hours. He said he was a president of peace. So where are you getting a mini war from? And this devil always speaks with a forked tongue, man. Like the scriptures say, the words of his mouth were smoother than butter, but war was in his heart. So that's the spirit of the Edomite. All right, they speak these smooth words in their suits and shit. Meanwhile, behind closed doors, they're sadistic, man. Look up that word. They're sadists. Esau is a damn sadist, man. They love death. They are that red horse, and power was given unto them that sat thereon to take peace from the earth. We're seeing that play out day to day. All right. Now they're back shooting, and Iran is attacking the UAE now. Iran is on the offensive. It says Fujairah says 3 injured in Iranian attack on oil industry zone. UAE confirms air defenses are now dealing with a missile threat. We have gotten reports of explosions in Dubai, which has sent oil higher and many futures into the red. UAE threatens retaliation. You got CENTCOM hails 2 U.S. merchant ships exiting Hormuz Strait safely in first step. And that's another thing that they're dealing with, because you have the U.S. military that are enforcing a blockade in the region. So now they're saying there's ships getting through. Iran insists Hormuz is under its control and says it's targeted and struck a U.S. Navy vessel, which the Pentagon Central Command has denied. And they probably did hit them. See, America's losing. They're losing the info war, man. And this like years ago, they were able to come out and say, "Oh, we're winning, we're doing all this," and people believe it. But how can you say you're winning? How can you say we don't need the Strait of Hormuz when you go to the gas station and why is your oil, why is the gas all high as shit? Why are Americans coming home in body bags and caskets if y'all are winning? If this is just so under control, because it's not. CENTCOM hails 2 U.S. merchant ships exiting. Oh yeah, I read that part. Trump announces Sunday U.S. will help free up ships stuck in the. Come on. Help free up ships stuck in Hormuz Strait through Project Freedom. Iran has in response issued a redefined the control zone in Strait of Hormuz. All right, we're gonna read through a little bit of this. The mini war. This is the mini war Trump mentioned. It's looking like the White House does not wish to giving up. Typo. Just yet on the ceasefire. Given this afternoon, President Trump referenced the conflict as a mini war as opposed to a full-blown war. In what seemed like an effort to downplay today's dramatic events, not only did missiles rain down on the UAE, sparking a fire at the key oil facility, but the U.S. said it destroyed 7 Iranian military boats. Here's what Trump said. They did a poll on the war with Iran, and they said only 32% of the people like it. Trump said, without specifying who conducted the poll, well, I don't like it. I don't like war at all. We're in. I call it a mini war, Trump added a few moments later. Trump has previously said he's been advised to not call it a war. House Speaker Mike Johnson, Republican, said last week that the U.S. is currently not at war, right? So this is the great confusion. They don't know what the fuck to call it. But didn't they announce, with Hegseth, that they would stop calling the military, the Ministry of Defense, and they started calling it the Ministry of War again, the Department of War, where it was the Department of Defense. So, the function is in the name. All right, if you say that you're the Secretary of War and it's changed from the Secretary of Defense, because why? They're on the defensive. They're on the offensive. They're over there. They're not defending anybody from trying to come over here. They're over there putting their nose in whoever Israel tells them to put their nose in, man. And right now it's Iran. And Bibi the bomber has been wanting to go into Iran since 2000. Said that they were weeks away from a nuclear bomb 20, 25, 26 years ago. All right. It says, where we at? It says, meanwhile, more details via CENTCOM on the earlier flare-up, which separately saw the UAE engage 12 ballistic missiles, 3 cruise missiles, and 4 drones on Monday. U.S. Central Command says it has helicopters to destroy Iranian small boats. It follows the U.S. President Donald Trump's suggestion that the U.S. has struck 7 Iranian small boats as it works to open the Strait of Hormuz. Earlier today, Seahawk and U.S. Army AH-64 Apache helicopters were used to eliminate Iranian small boats threatening commercial shipping. CENTCOM writes in a social media update. Ceasefire broken. Israel awaiting U.S. green light. Trump downplays. There remain lingering questions over whether the U.S.-Iran ceasefire has definitely broken down with today's Iranian attack on the UAE, as well as the tit-for-tat hostilities in the Persian Gulf area. This, as Israeli media says, that the Netanyahu government is awaiting a green light to attack Iran again. Also, the UAE is not planning a severe retaliatory response and harsh revenge against Tehran, per MS Now. Yet, strangely, the latest statement out of CENTCOM doesn't touch on the question of a broken ceasefire. and the President Trump himself has been silent on the matter, per the AP. Cooper declined to say whether the exchange of hostilities between the U.S. and Iranian forces in the Strait of Hormuz today accounted to an end to the ceasefire agreement. Cooper told reporters in a phone call this afternoon that Iran initiated aggressive behavior in the Strait, according to a readout of the call provided by the Associated Press. What we saw this morning was Iran initiating aggressive behaviors, Cooper said. We are simply going to respond to that. So, this war is going to continue on, man. All right? And that's what this is. And that's pretty much all I'm going to grab on that. All right? When they shall say peace and safety, all right, y'all had this ceasefire and shit, but nah, man, because the Lord is in control. Let's get the scriptures we always have brought out, man, because this is the time where the Lord is visiting the earth, man. All right, you damn heathen are not in control. Humans, we're not in control. Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, the creator of heaven and earth and all things therein, is in control. Okay? This is 1 Thessalonians chapter 5 and verse 1. But of the times and the seasons, brethren, ye have no need that I write unto you. For yourselves know perfectly that the day of the Lord so cometh as a thief in the night. For when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction cometh upon them, as travail upon a woman with child, and they shall not escape. So when they shall say peace and safety, we announce a ceasefire. Look at us. Ain't no ceasefire. That's why nobody wants to come out and say they breached it, because America was the one that actually initiated the ceasefire. Iran was ready to go. Iran is still sitting on thousands upon thousands of missiles. They've been preparing for America. All right, and America is still trying to do this ground war, and they're going to be sending their soldiers off to the damn slaughter, man. Because there's a reason Iran hasn't been conquered. All right, the Lord put them in a mountainous region, and gave them a strong will for this purpose. Okay. Verse 4 says, "But ye, brethren, are not in darkness, that they should overtake you as a thief." Why? Because we're on our watch. All right. The average person don't know what the hell is going on. We see what's going on and why it's going on and what it's going to lead to ultimately. Verse 5, "Ye are all the children of the light and the children of the day. We are not of the night nor of darkness. Therefore let us not sleep as do others, but let us watch and be sober." See, that's what we're commanded to do. And all right, being sober doesn't mean you can't have a drink. All right, you got to be sober minded. All right, we're not drunken with everything that this life tries to intoxicate you with, man. Just straight up. All right, we're focused on the bigger picture, and the bigger picture is America's about to be destroyed. We're in the 250th year. All right, and America's no different from any other nation. All right, the heathen nation that the Lord has set up. It has an end date, man, and we're at the end of it. We're at the beginning of the end for this damn devil. That's it. That's all I want on that. Let's get this Joel 3, right? In verse 9. "Proclaim ye this among the Gentiles. Prepare war. Wake up the mighty men." That's what the Lord is doing. He has woken up the mighty men of Russia, of China, of Iran, of North Korea. Hell, the mighty men of America. All right, all the mighty men. The Lord is preparing them to come and fight. Okay? It says, "Let all the men of war draw near." These are your soldiers, your generals, your lieutenants, your ministers of defense, ministers of war. It says, "Let them come up." Verse 10, "Beat your plowshares and the swords and your pruning hooks and the spears. Let the weak say, I am strong." Right? Put all your economic might into your defense. Okay? That should be the focus right now. Defense. And Iran is exhibit A when it comes to that. Iran has, they've been preparing for years, man. They've been moving their uranium around. They've been making these missiles. They haven't even revealed everything that they got, and they've already shown that they can do mass damage, man. All right? So then the weak is saying that they're strong. These nations that America was ruling over for all these years, now they're starting to buck back. Verse 11, "Assemble yourselves and come, all ye heathen. Gather yourselves together round about. Thither cause thy mighty ones to come down, O Lord. Let the heathen be wakened, and come up to the valley of Yahweh Shaphat. For there will I sit to judge all the heathen round about. All right, so the Lord is about to judge these people, man. It says, put you in the sickle, for the harvest is ripe. Come, get you together, for the press is full. The fats overflow, for their wickedness is great. All right, and yeah, the Lord is about to judge these heathen nations, but he's going to make them fight first. All right, and that's the power of our Lord. The Lord is a power of war. Yahweh is his name. Verse 14, multitudes in the valley of decision. For the day of the Lord, Yahweh is near in the valley of decision. So that's why there will be no ceasefire with this. I mean, not ceasefire, a ceasefire in this war. All right, the Lord, even if they and clearly they wanted to stop fighting for a little bit, but you're not in control no more, Esau. You never were in control, first of all, but now the Lord is showing you that you're not in control of this. The Lord Yahweh Bashim Yahushua is in control, and we're here to tell you that the Lord is in control. It don't matter what you try to do. It don't matter how vast your military is, how strategic you think you are. This ends with America and the state of Israel being nuked with nuclear fire. That is how this war ends. And Yahushua coming back, man. All right, so with that, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh Bahashem, Yahushua Bahashem Makakodash, and double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who rule well. Peace, love, and salutations to the hopeful elect. Till next time, Shalom.